Jeff Beck, Quotes and Sayings. I cherish my privacy and woe betide anyone who tries to interfere with that. I never stuck around long enough to know if anyone would miss me. That's rock and roll though. Here today, gone tomorrow. I don't care about the rules. If I don't break the rules at least 10 times every song, then I'm not doing my job. Things turn out better by accident sometimes, but you can't organize accidents. I don't understand why some people will only accept a guitar if it has an instantly recognizable guitar sound. Finding ways to use the same guitar people have been using for 50 years to make sounds that no one has heard before is truly what gets me off. Some people are skeptical. My mom thought the guitar was going to fizzle out in 2 weeks, that it was just a fad, and that was in 1958. I tried to become a singer. The guitar has always been abused with distortion units and funny sorts of effects. But when you don't do that and just let the genuine sound come through, there's a whole magic there. I would have loved to have been two people, but I was determined not to devote my entire life to my career. Nowadays, music is as disposable as a McDonald's wrapper. That old funny shaped bit of wood is still staring me in the face every day, saying, "Come on, you haven't started yet. It's infinite." I like the element of chaos in music. That feeling is the best thing ever, as long as you don't have too much of it. I'm a very emotional person. If I've got something on my mind, that would stop me from giving my best. As long as there's something original going on, that's all that matters. I play purely from the heart, and so if it doesn't work the first couple of hours, forget it. London is a dead duck as far as innovative new music is concerned, unless you want to have your head blown off with some outrageous, rubbish, pounding dance music. I never really felt at home with that. The headbands, the roses, the feet, the peace sign, all that bollocks. That wasn't me at all. I felt like a fish totally out of water during the mid-60s thing. A lot of solos I hear sound so incredible, but they sound like somebody practicing. They sound a bit soulless, fiery, but at the same time lacking in spirit and soul. If you can make it sound exciting with a joke drum machine, you know you've got something. I was interested in the electric guitar even before I knew the difference between electric and acoustic. The electric guitar seemed to be a totally fascinating plank of wood with knobs and switches on it. I just had to have one. I've tried to become a singer with the guitar and not let any technological licks run my life. Just write the licks and play them as best as I can as a part, rather than ad-libbing. I'm happy in English studios. I just feel like there's no pressure anywhere. It's a diabolical business. I can't imagine how hellish it must be to be hounded like Amy Winehouse and people like that. I have a little peripheral place on the outskirts of celebrity when I go to premieres and that sort of stuff, which is as close as I want to get. When jazz broke through in England, I remember sneaking to listen to the radio, much to my parents' disapproval. If you were to plot my success or failure, it very seldom stays on a high plateau. If you don't have an album or you don't have any tune, you can't start. I want to be the Rolling Stone #2 with a tomorrow feel to it, like an experimental Rolling Stones with Jagger singing. At the end of the day, there are a hell of a lot of notes being played out there, and I defy the average middle American or the average punter to differentiate between them. Jeff Beck, Fun Facts, tweets. August 5th, 2013. Fact: Beach Boys star Brian Wilson is heading off on a joint tour of North America with Jeff Beck. The musicians, who recently collaborated in the studio, will kick off the trek on September 27 in Florida and visit cities including Washington, D.C. and Boston, Massachusetts, before concluding in Akron, Ohio, on October 27. June 6, 2013. Beach Boys star Brian Wilson has returned to the studio to record new music with Jeff Black and Al Jardine. The project, which will result in Wilson's 11th solo album, is the Good Vibrations hitmaker's first activity since he parted ways with the reunited Beach Boys following a 50th anniversary tour last year. May 29, 2013. Beach Boys legend Brian Wilson is teamed up with his former bandmate Al Jardine and iconic rock guitarist Jeff Beck to record tracks for a new album. April 2nd, 2011. Guitar great Jeff Beck will join the American Idol wannabes on TV next week, April 6, 2011, during a tribute to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. The two-time inductee will be a guest performer on the show, and he'll accompany each of the singers on guitar. January 14, 2011. The Who, Debbie Harry, Richard Ashcroft, and Jeff Beck joined forces on Thursday, January 13 to rock out at the Killing Cancer charity gig in London. Proceeds from ticket sales will fund the installation of groundbreaking light therapy laser treatment in British hospitals. February 1, 2010. Pioneering guitarist Les Paul was honored with a posthumous tribute at the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards on Sunday, January 31, 2010, with a performance by jazz singer Imelda May and English rock guitarist Jeff Beck. January 15, 2009. Run DMC's performance at Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Ohio on April 9 will be the rap pioneer's first since the death of DJ Jam Master Jay in 2002. The rap trio will be inducted alongside Metallica, Jeff Beck, and Bobby Womack. Career: 1960s. In March 1965, Beck was recruited by the Yardbirds to succeed Eric Clapton on the recommendation of fellow session musician Jimmy Page, who'd been their initial choice. The Yardbirds recorded most of their top 40 hit songs during Beck's short but significant 20-month tenure with the band, allowing him only one full album, which became known as Roger the Engineer. Titled Over, Under, Sideways, Down in the US, released in 1966. In May 1966, Beck recorded an instrumental titled Beck's Bolero. Rather than members of the Yardbirds, he was backed by Page on 12-string rhythm guitar, Keith Moon on drums, John Paul Jones on bass, and Nicky Hopkins on piano. In June, Page joined the Yardbirds, at first on bass and later on second lead guitar. This dual lead guitar lineup was filmed performing an adaptation of Train Kept Rolling titled Stroll On for the 1966 Michelangelo Antonioni film Blow Up. Beck was fired during a US tour for being a consistent no-show, as well as difficulties caused by his perfectionism and explosive temper. In 1967, he recorded several solo singles for pop producer Mickie Most, including Hi-Ho Silver Lining and Tallyman, which also included his vocals. He then formed the Jeff Beck Group, which included Rod Stewart on vocals, Ronnie Wood on bass, Nicky Hopkins on piano, and Ainsley Dunbar on drums. 1970s. A second album, Jeff Beck Group, July 1972, was recorded at TMI Studios in Memphis with the same personnel. Beck employed Steve Cropper as producer, and the album displayed a strong soul influence. 5 of the 9 tracks being covers of songs by American artists. One, I Got to Have a Song, was the first of 4 Stevie Wonder compositions covered by Beck. Shortly after the release of the Jeff Beck Group album, the band was dissolved, and Beck's management put out the statement that the fusion of the musical styles of the various members has been successful within the terms of individual musicians, but they didn't feel it had led to the creation of a new musical style with the strength they had originally sought.